I remember I had one moment where I had, I almost went back to waiting tables, and I was like, got an application, filled it out. And I think one of the questions said, like, why do you want to work here?
And you're like, I don't.
And I just looked at it. I was like, fuck.
You should make everyone come and be in slides or
Wow,
sandals.
yeah.
It's
It
like
kind of reminds me of Rick Glassman's Take Your Shoes Off podcast.
I never heard of that.
It's really, really good. But
They literally take their shoes off?
They take their shoes off. It's in his home, and then people come in, and then as he's setting up the set, that's the beginning of the episode. It's really, really smart, really good.
It's like a shoe cam.
It's like a shoe cam?
Shoe cam. Like they do that on the, what was it, like a Wendy Williams show. Like any guest that comes on, there's a little thing on the floor where they put the shoes and there's a camera pointed directly at it. And then it's like what shoes are you wearing?
Cool. Yeah, I think that's shoe cam. Different elements we'll add to the studio as we continue to expand it. We're at 50. We're a minute in. This is the start of the podcast. Yeah. You cool with that?
Yeah.
All right, good. Welcome everybody to the Rodriguez Project. I have my great friend Eddie Lizarde here today, and 30 minutes ago he didn't know that we were doing a podcast. Nobody did. Now we're ready to go. But yeah, we're going to talk all things. I mean, Eddie and I have known each other for a long time. Started waiting tables together years ago at the Griddle in Hollywood here. Yeah, give everybody a brief understanding of who you are, what you do, and let's start with that.
Cool. Yeah. So like you said, I mean, I moved here. What? It was like 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was 2015.
Yeah, that's crazy because I remember moving to LA. I used to celebrate like the little LA versaries. If people call me. I remember it was like the 6 month mark and then the year mark, and now I just kind of lost track.
Wow.
Which is crazy because that's I feel like LA's home. But moving here was like what, 6-7 years ago or something like that. And I came here initially for like music. I wanted to be a DJ. I wanted to maybe get into production, stuff like that. And then moving here, it just kind of started exploring all my other interests that I had, and which is always like a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? Like it's having so many interests and not knowing kind of what to focus on, and you kind of just try everything. But that's a good thing about LA is moving here the first year. I encourage everybody to just go after everything, because first of all, you don't know what you're going to be good at. Like you think you're going to be good at something.
You have your game plan, but depending on how old you are, this never happens exactly.
Right, for sure. And then especially, this town, everybody I feel like moves from their respective town and they're maybe the best there. And then they move they move here, and it's like you're what's that saying? Like a small fish in a big pond or something like that.
Yeah.
But moving here, I wanted to do something in music. It was always something in music. Like my dream job when I was young was always to work for like a big label, do A&R or management or something like that. I never wanted to be a musician myself. I like the business side of things. So, but I mean, when I met you, we did we produced a music video, directed a music video.
We literally
cool.
jumped right in.
Yeah, it was.
And hey, this opportunity, you want to do this? And we just clicked. It was like, oh shit. Wait. And that's the thing too, is I always tell people, when you find your creatives that you work well with, hold on to them, because that's fucking gold. Especially if you have a strong work ethic that you click with, you have brilliant ideas and you can execute upon. It's like, keep those people around you, and you were one of those people. Yeah, no,
it's important. Anywhere you live, it's important to surround yourself with people, like-minded people. And I know that's been driven into the ground. Everyone says that, but when you actually surround yourself with like-minded people who it holds you accountable as well. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to start projects. Everybody wants to do this, and if you started with somebody else, no matter if it's one person or a whole team, that one person's going to just make the whole difference, because there might be days where you don't feel like doing it, or vice versa. Mm-hmm. But if that person shows up, it's almost like you got to show up for them too.
When you're talking about trying different things out in LA, when I first moved here, I was like, oh, I'm going to be an actor. That's all I'm going to do. And give me 3 years. And then 3 years pass and you're like, oh fuck, I'm still I don't even really know anybody yet. For me, it was the first decade trying so many different things, because I got here, I was like I said, I wanted to be an actor, but then you try music. And then you try doing just live music showcases. And next thing you know, you're like, okay, now I'm writing a movie that I want to star in. Now I'm producing a short film. It's but being able to do all of those different things, everything helps out everything else down the line. And luckily, even for myself, it was trying all these creative endeavors and then turning it into a digital agency. It was now we offer all of these things as products. Even doing podcasts for AfterBuzz TV. I did hundreds of podcasts that I was on.
I remember that.
And then, yeah, and I was at first I didn't even know how to formulate a full sentence. And now, worried about the cameras and all that stuff. But now I can help people do what they want to do because I've been through the process. Even coming here for music and still doing a lot of different things around music, where do you feel like the next 5 years, how much, time are you spending on music now compared to like what you thought you would back in the day? Yeah,
so it's that's interesting because I'm not doing what I kind of intended to do. Like I wanted to be in music making, but behind the scenes, so like producing and stuff like that and DJing. But then when I really thought about it, sat down and researched what it actually takes, not just to be able to make music and to work in that, but to be successful and actually make an impact. And I realized the amount of time that it really takes. And that's one thing you learn kind of quick here in LA. It's like and even then you could be the most productive person time-wise and put everything into your craft, still doesn't guarantee success. You know what I mean? And that takes a lot more than just even talent. It takes connections and being able to talk to people and, putting yourself out there. But I realized, I was like, okay, if I want to be a DJ, I was like, I don't want to just play other people's music. I want to make my own, what I mean? And this was during the boom of like Diplo and Zed, and like where all these like Vegas residencies are dishing out like, giant numbers of like paychecks for these DJs. So that was like a huge draw, and then I remember I kind of had that interest right before that boom. And then it was like Zac Efron made a movie about being a DJ, and then everybody wanted to be a DJ. And I was like, I don't want to be a DJ no more.
What movie was that?
I forget what it was called.
Gabe, you probably know.
Where Your Friends. Exactly. So I remember I was like, I bought my equipment and everything, and then that movie came out, and then I wasn't very vocal about like becoming a DJ. I was kind of focusing on my craft before I was like loud about it, and then that movie came out, and then everybody wanted to be a DJ. So then I started kind of showing on Instagram like stuff that I was doing, and then everyone was like, "Oh yeah, like you, like Zac Efron inspired you," and I was like, "It wasn't it. It wasn't. That's what it wasn't what it was." But I mean, whatever, But I moved here, and then I was like, okay, if I want to produce music, I was like, there's so many programs and schools and stuff to learn. And I mean, even now I got Ableton and it's a new language. It's like learning a whole new language to learn programs and to get good at it and to do all that. And I was just kind of like, it's more of a hobby, And that's one thing about LA is, you learn what's a career path and what's a hobby. And it's sometimes they align together and they help each other out, which is cool. But you got to kind of know when to tune into that tunnel vision of like, okay, what am I actually interested in? Where do I want to take that? And how do I get there?
Yeah. It's funny because when I think of you now, I always think of you as like the person that's like hella connected. You need to go, you want to go somewhere. All right, Eddie's got to connect to hit this person that knows this person to line it up. Even as we're like lining up our trip to Sundance in a couple of weeks, I feel like you're like a master at networking and building relationships, and not in a way where I think sometimes people look at it like, oh, they're an opportunist or something like that. It's not like that at all. You come in, you bring value, you have a great network of people you can turn to, and the people that turn to you. So how do you even start? How did that start for you?
I mean, luckily, I feel it goes back to my roots. I feel like my parents were both very outgoing. So I feel like that helped me a lot. And they taught me to be independent. Like they taught me, they were there for me for everything, but they were also like, go make friends, go do this. Like if it was even going to the store or something when I was younger, they would be like, here, pay the lady or whatever. So they taught me to be, get out of my shell and to not be afraid to talk to people, and now as an adult, it's important to just really put yourself out there. And like you said, it's not just necessarily an opportunist way, like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. But it's about being genuine, and sometimes a connection grows just by asking somebody what they do and genuinely being interested and asking follow-up questions and just to learn about what they do if you have a genuine interest in it, as opposed to just, so many people will just start a conversation, listen, or not even listen, just wait to hear what they're saying just to be able to talk about what they want to do. So it's kind of like, you just got to learn how to pitch without being pitchy.
Yeah. Because it is that thing. I'll get like an email. It's like, hey, how's everything? And it's like,
where it's going.
You're like, everything's great. Yeah, what's up? What do you need?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing. You have to make friends before you need them. And it's very important to nurture those relationships because things come up. And, if I need something from a friend, whatever, even if it's just a small favor, if I hit them up about it, it's like I've kept that like that friendship going so that it doesn't come out of the blue.
Yeah.
Because there's
you're
nothing
really good
worse
at
than,
that.
like you said, when somebody hits you up and it's like, hey, how you been? It's like, okay, I haven't talked to you in about 8 months.
Yeah, like,
what do you need? And it's like,
and I still got you. I can still,
I still
I'll
got
still
you,
try
yeah,
to figure
yeah,
it out. And he's a great networker, and can make things happen. Also, we're neighbors, so you know, if we have a night on the town, we come back, like I'll wake up to like some like hangover remedies at my door. Like, hey, bro, I went and picked up this, like some Pedialyte, some Tylenol, and like a payday or some shit. Like, hey, it's outside. I got you.
Package, little care package.
But like being so thoughtful, you're not thinking of, in that sense of like, let me just make sure this relationship. It's like, no, you actually care. You're thoughtful, and it goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You know, and that's one thing that, like, I've learned just from working in event production. A lot of my coworkers and stuff and my colleagues are a lot older than I am, and their friendships that they have and the way their friendship is with me, I've learned to just kind of approach friends in a different way. Like little thoughtful things go a long way. Even just a small little thing. Like, you know, someone sent me like a Christmas card, and it's like, whoa, I thought when I was younger, I thought only like old people did that. Like, you know what I
But
mean?
we're
Like,
also getting to the age where now
you want to send Christmas
cards.
cards. Yeah, you get
Yeah.
Christmas cards and you want to send them, and you know, it's you think of the what it takes to actually do that. You know, you go to the store, you have to buy the card. You know, it's $3-4. Then you gotta get a stamp and then take it to drop it off or whatever. And, you know, it might take you 20, 30 minutes, but what it does for relationships and networking is just huge.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, you have to make friends before you need them.
Yeah, I think that's even like being that thoughtful is something that I think, whether it's your relationship that you're in or people that you're working with, just showing that you appreciate and acknowledge that you love working with them or love being around them and those kind of things. Those little thoughtful things they just go so long of a way.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like I remember I saw, what was it? It was like some interview of, like, they were interviewing Jennifer Lopez, and I forget, it was like Golden Globes or something like that. And there was pictures, she hung out with Lady Gaga the night before, and they were asking like, oh, how was Lady Gaga? And she was like, oh, she's the sweetest. She's the sweetest. The next day she sent me flowers, and it said like, it was nice hanging out with you. And it's just something simple. They're not working together. They don't need anything from each other, but they hung out. It was cool. And just a simple gesture, you know, it just goes a long way.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Yeah. I even think back to myself, like even being in relationships before and never like, you know, buying flowers just to show that that you care or whatever, or surprising them with the trip, or you just little things like that. You know, I've had different relationships that I did do that, and then some that I didn't at all. And now I'm trying to find that balance to take a break and to, you know, put time and effort into that.
Yeah, for sure. And it's also, it comes down to like what they call like the love language, right? And it doesn't necessarily just mean like in a relationship, but like you love your friends, you love your people, you love your colleagues, you love whatever, you know? So some people just like to give. Some people, it's more about words of affirmations, and they're interchangeable. You know, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be like something material for them to think like, oh, you're so sweet, you care, or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's like I said, even just a simple text message like, hey, how have you been? I was thinking about you the other day. Hope all is well. Happy New Year. I've been doing a lot of those because you know, especially, you know, sometimes you get busy and you can't nurture all your relationships and your network and. Yeah. But, you know, a simple text of just not when you need something, just a simple like, hey, you know, and
thought of you today based
thought
on
of you today.
like,
It's something simple.
Yeah.
Even just, I mean, I'm a huge picture taker of things that I never even go back and revisit. Like I'll take pictures. So I'll have my camera roll like 30,000 pictures, and it's like a lot of them are screenshots and things like that. But now I'm more mindful of like taking photos, and then if they remind me of someone, I just send it to them. And like even a little like, LOL, what does this remind you of? You know what I mean?
Didn't you send me something recently?
You sent me a couch or a fridge.
Yeah, every time. So it must have been 2015. We went and did a photo shoot. It was like very beginning, like even Mastermynd days. Didn't even know what Mastermynd really was. And we went and did a photo shoot because was it on my like Canon 7D or was it your camera or something?
I don't remember. Yeah.
But we went down Hollywood Boulevard before like it gets all crazy. Maybe a little bit of both, like the circus part and the like residential
right in the
area.
Middle.
And there was like, was it just one fridge that was outside? We took photos around it. And now you'll be surprised how many times you'll see a fridge on the side of a road.
On the side of the road.
And every time that you see one or I see one, we take a photo of it and send it. That's always, it's super funny.
Yeah, we literally found the fridge and just did a little photo shoot by it.
It's art.
I don't even know what it was for. It was for nothing, right? It just was
I think it was like, let's just go content. This was early Instagram days.
Early Instagram days.
too. Yeah. So
we're creating content before they called it content creating. Like it was just
now we do content creation.
Now we do content creation.
That's what this is. And, when I first wanted to start a podcast, because obviously we've gone full into podcast, producing it for other people, creating other digital platforms, Mastermynd Music, Mastermynd Sports and stuff like that. But initially I was like, I want to create like a Mastermynd podcast. But then I was like, fuck, I don't know if I necessarily want to only talk about entrepreneurship and, and I want to just be able to do whoever the guest is, kind of talk about what they love, friendships and business and all that stuff. But, we all are work in progresses, and, the Rodriguez project being like, we're a work in progress. This is the project to learn things, to share knowledge, to share experiences, to laugh for an hour, whatever it is. With that work in progress type of idea on your journey, what do you feel like was maybe the darkest moment of like entrepreneurship or business? I know you do a lot of different things. Was there ever a moment where you're like, fuck, let me get out of here. I need to go back. I need to go, or even move away,
right,
or stuff like that. Has there been times like that for you?
Well, I mean, I remember I used to, like when I travel for work and stuff before, I used to kind of be able to just pick up and go. Like before moving to LA, I used to just be able, I moved around a lot. I liked it. If I visited somewhere that I liked and I was like, I want to live here, I would do it. I would
you
just
came
do
from Vegas, but that was by way, you were in the Bay for a little bit.
Before Texas, Vegas, right? I was in Hawaii. Before Hawaii, I was in the Bay. Before that, I was in Texas, Arizona. Wow. Like I was kind of everywhere. Some of the darkest times here in LA were just kind of when you feel, when I felt like I wasn't making it. Like everything that I was trying was just not working, or it was just too slow. Like, it's just when you lose kind of like motivation and that comes and goes, but it's just about staying consistent. Like, and that goes for everything. Like you got to take it one step at a time. Like no matter what it is, sometimes it's as simple as like, just getting out of bed, making your bed, getting dressed, putting your shoes on and getting out the door. Yeah. Like that will just, no matter what you do with your day, you're already more productive than if you just stayed in bed thinking about like, shit, this is not working.
This is tough. Yeah.
This is not working or shit. And then, especially in LA, a lot of people, I know a lot of friends that I met when I moved here and they're gone. Like they left, they moved.
How does that make you feel when you find out like a friend leaves?
It makes me, I feel like they leave in good spirits. But I feel like deep down there's some pain in it because you don't want to move anywhere and leave like because your dreams didn't come true. Like at the end of the day, that's sad. You know what I mean? So I feel for them, and then also like not only are you kind of like losing that a friend. Well, not that they're you don't have to be friends anymore, but you can't just see them like you used to. But it makes me sad. It makes me it's sad. It's you start kind of self-reflecting. Like, was there something I could have done to help them more, or damn, like, because a lot of friends here that I have, we've worked together on something and at some point in time, so it's always interesting to just see when someone leaves. It's like, I feel bad. It's like, damn. We also think like, shit, that could have been me, or it's like it's like a sad but also like a wake up call. Like, keep hustling, keep working, because that could be you. It could literally be you tomorrow.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like, because a lot of people come out here at a younger age and then they're kind of growing up like, oh well, I'm actually gonna go back to see my family, have kids, and actually have like, a group of people around to be able to, help as I raise a family and stuff like that. Because it does take a village. But I think, it's always an interesting thing when somebody moves away. And I think, I always just hope that they're able to, whatever they're doing, they feel great about it.
Yeah.
That you want to be optimistic. There is no regret. Yeah. That, or the fact that really based on the internet, now you don't have to be in LA to, like you used to. You had to be here to audition. Now everybody's doing self-tapes and, there's that whole thing. And there's different cities of entertainment and that kind of thing too. And I feel like I'll always have a home base here, but I do have aspirations to, have several different places, or to be able to be bi-coastal, or spend, like you said, be able to spend time wherever you want to be,
Just not New York. No, you like New York though, right?
I do love New York. I just love the energy. I did a video the other day about like people, like working with people from New York. It's just that vibe is just different because
but they have to be true New Yorkers though, because I feel like people who move there and then they think they're embodying what New York is, and I think they overdo it. Yeah. So like, you know what I mean? Like that true New Yorkers are kind of like, you know, they're more real than the people who move there and they're like, oh, I'm from New York, I gotta be this way. And it's like, do you?
Especially, yeah. I just like, my biggest thing was because my brother-in-law Paris being from there, and it's just like, man. But I just love when I go to New York, no matter what you did the night before, how you're feeling, if you're, you know, feeling down or whatever, you go to the street and the street just takes you, like, I guess that energy pushes you to go and do more. And then, you know, when Paris came out here, literally in 30 days that he spent with me like 10 years ago, he did more in 30 days than a lot of people I've seen do over like 15 years. And it's like, oh shit, it's just a different beast.
Yeah. No, it's very true. I've been in New York. I mean, New York, maybe like.
You could never live there?
I would. I mean, I wouldn't say I wouldn't. I would live anywhere for the right
Sounds
opportunity.
like a no.
No, I would live anywhere for the right opportunity. Like it would have to be the right thing. It would have to be, you know, the right job, or just, you know, those opportunities that can't pass up. It would have to be something like that. But for me to actively pursue it just because, for a change of pace, I don't think I would do it. But like you said, it is kind of like going into a moving river. You leave your hotel or wherever you're staying and you walk onto the street and it's moving, you know. So that's like exciting.
A moving river, and then LA is like what, like a lazy river?
It's like a lazy river ish. I mean, certain parts.
But that the fact in LA, you actually have access to a little bit of, if you want, like even where we live, being a little quiet, and then once you go a couple streets over, it gets a little more, you know, upbeat and whatnot.
A little hectic.
Upbeat. But so if you were to live anywhere else other than where you are now, what would be, like Chicago or something based on that?
Chicago, Chicago would be like an obvious choice for me personally, just because you know, the work that I've done out there and just kind of. But at the same time, like that feels cold. Like the weather. No. I would like to live somewhere like overseas. I don't know. I haven't explored too much, but I mean, I feel like in the United States we're so used to kind of staying here. I mean, because we are diverse in general, state by state is very different, but I feel like people from around the world like move around more to different countries, and so that's something I would like to kind of do. And
I want to take a trip to Bali. I've never been to Bali. I want to do Bali for like a month and just like disconnect and just write for 30 days because I just haven't been able to do that.
Why Bali?
Just by, you know, knowing a lot of people, a lot of like travel bloggers and stuff like that go there. It's inexpensive. So you can, you know, go there and everything is, you know, have to break the bank to do so. But, and just, you know, there's a lot of different areas, that, whether you want some tourist action, you do want some quiet time. Obviously now there's, based on like a lot of influencers going there, there's a lot that's been kind of exploited, or like, you know,
so it's going to get more expensive then.
Yeah, probably.
It's going to get more expensive.
Yeah. So that's the thought, but I could see myself, like, I love being in LA. I do eventually want to have something in Michigan close to family, but Chicago is probably my next, just like, which is so interesting. Cause I had gone to Chicago a couple times, and then we went together a couple times. And then based on like the business opportunities that you had out there and the networking ability. And then now as we're like building other projects and in different ideas or businesses, it's like, wait, Chicago would be a great place to be.
You know, it's good to go against the grain when you want to pursue something that you're super passionate about. But there's sometimes where you just gotta, you know, go with the flow and go. You don't have to beat yourself in the head to make something happen. If something's like aligning itself for it to be less obstacles, do it. And you know, that's why Chicago, like we've been talking about, would be great for the business ideas that we've been having and stuff like that. So I mean, why not?
Yeah,
like that's my thing. Like, why the hell not? You know, and then that's always been like my mentality. It's always like, you know, you got to think about, people put a lot of obstacles in their own way, like unknowingly, whether it's like literally physical, like you tell yourself like, I can't because of this, because all these reasons, or even just mentally, like you think that it's impossible, or you think that, and it's like I said, it's about taking that first step. It's about just doing it, building your tribe, or even if you don't have a tribe, like you could do stuff alone, you know what I mean? And people will come along.
Yeah.
It's about just being open-minded and being just accepting of what you want and what you deserve and what you think you can do and what you can accomplish. And I feel, you know, we stop ourselves a lot of the time. Like anytime that I've not accomplished some of my own goals and my own dreams, it was 100% my fault. Like, don't get me wrong, there's other stuff that happened, you know, but for the most part, I could have gone around those obstacles and accomplished what I needed to do. And I stopped myself, you know, and I've learned to not do that, or to accept that if I'm going to allow these thoughts to enter my mind and go with them accept them as truth, I'm not going to accomplish what I want to accomplish. And if you're okay with that, then cool. But if not, then just do your shit. You know?
Yeah. It reminds me just like of like trying to keep up with the Joneses and whatnot. That was one thing I learned early on, not in my process, but like almost like halfway through, like being here for about a decade and then falling in love with like Gary Vee's content and like understanding that kind of thing. And then that allowed me to like, okay, I need to create a minimalistic lifestyle so that I don't have to afford all these other things because that just becomes this huge obstacle, like to be able to have all the stuff, have the car, have the place, have the, new clothes all the time, going out all the time. It's like, wait, okay, you have to do that and try to build a business and all that. You can't.
It's a full-time job. Yeah. Keeping up with the Joneses is a full-time job. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, who are you doing it for? Is it actually for you, or is it for the persona that you're trying to create for that other people see? Yeah. And at the end of the day, like if they're not like paying your bills, or if they're not like giving you the opportunities, and who cares? Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
and it allows you, because that was a big thing for me. Once I was able to get rid of everything and then literally have like 2 pairs of jeans and 5 t-shirts and like, this is what I do. And now even wearing slides still every day. It's like, I don't have to make these decisions. If I don't have to make more decisions and I don't have to go buy shit, I'm like, I can just spend all that time and effort into what I want to do. I remember I had one moment where I had, I almost went back to waiting tables in probably 2000, must have been like 2017. I went to Granville.
Like a restaurant? Oh, Granville.
I went to Granville. And I'm like, fuck, I have to. I had like a pizza place on the line that was about to do a social media package. And I didn't need much to survive, but I needed like some more money, and I couldn't make it happen. Or at least at that time. And I went into Granville in Studio City on Ventura Boulevard, and I was like, got an application, filled it out. And I think one of the questions said like, why do you want to work here?
And you're like, I don't.
And I just looked at it. I was like, fuck.
You didn't have an answer.
I was like, you know what?
Apart from money.
Yeah. So I literally looked at it. I'm filling it out there. And Granville's like a nice place. There's a few locations. I'm looking at it. So I stood there for like 5 minutes, and I was like, never mind. I didn't do it. And then when I was walking, I've never even told the story. Literally when I was walking out, the pizza place signed. Damn. And it was only like an extra $500 a month, but because my living expenses were like, it was $800. I think I was dating a girl at the time. We were splitting that room, and that room I turned into an office. She ended up leaving later on because of turning your bedroom into an office. Trying to keep a relationship, probably don't do that. But yeah, literally went to Granville. It was going to be the time that I was gonna go back to waiting tables. That I filled out everything except for that question, and then I just ripped it up and threw it away, leaving. The pizza place in Inglewood hit me up, was like, hey, I can do it for $500 a month. I was like, perfect. That got me over the hump. That then, I was able to sign more clients after that. But that was a really sticky time for me that it almost didn't happen.
No, and that's crazy, because I always think, like your mind is a powerful tool. And, some people believe in it, some people don't. And it is what it is. If it works for you, it works for you. And it works for me. Like I've noticed that, in times where I just don't have the best attitude about, an outcome or something, that usually ends up happening, and I think a couple of days ago I was watching some show, and this is something along the lines of like there's pretend you're skiing, right? And I've never skied, but I'm pretending you're skiing.
Snowboard,
pretend you're snowboarding, and you're going down maybe a hill that is a little bit more advanced than what you're comfortable with, but you want to push yourself and you want to get better, right? So in your mind, you're scared because you don't want to get injured, you want to fall, but you're thinking like, okay, if someone tells you like, okay, be careful, don't hit a tree, be careful for the trees, that's in your head, right? You're going down the hill and you're thinking about, don't hit a tree, don't hit a tree, don't hit a tree. So all you're thinking about and all you're seeing are those damn trees, because that's what's in your head. But if somebody would have told you, hey, focus on the path, focus on the snow path. It's easy. It's just do it. So you're going down the hill, and instead of just focusing on the trees, you're just focusing on the path. And that changes your trajectory and your path in general of how you get there. And you're more focused, and you get to the bottom and you're like, shit. And so how'd you do it? Oh, I just focused on the path. And then somebody else who maybe didn't, who hit a tree or took them forever to get there because they were being slow, trying to maneuver around these damn trees. It's like, what happened? It's like, oh, we're just so focused on not hitting a tree that's all you see. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all you see. So once you kind of learn to, you're almost like tricking yourself into how to think
Yeah.
and how to behave.
And like having blinders from all the negativity or whatever.
Yeah,
the
for
things that
sure.
could stop you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I've had friends that, you know, always look, they're pessimistic. You say, oh, let's do this. It's
Yeah,
like,
over here on the couch.
so I've had friends that are, you know, pessimistic. Like you have a crazy idea or a fun idea or something like, you know, let's go on this adventure. There's always going to be those friends that are like, no, but what if this, but what if this, but what if we get there in this, but what if we get there in this? And I like to be the one that's like, but what if we get there and then this happens?
Yeah.
And then usually,
That's the
not
shit
always.
that happens anyways.
That's the shit that happens anyways. So it's like, so what? It's like you, at the end of the day, once you get over that and don't let that stop you, you end up having the best experiences because you just went for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And it's if no matter what you're doing in life, if literally has there ever been a time where you haven't figured it out? If you're still alive today, you've always figured it out. So why be so worried about what could happen? Like I remember even like flying for the first time being like, well, fuck, what if I miss my connecting flight or whatever? Like but guess what? Once you do it once, you're like, oh shit, no, this is easy.
yeah,
You know, you look at the computers, you ask somebody.
Yeah.
You know, you like it's set up for you to succeed. Listen, life isn't always set up for you to succeed, but with hard work, determination, a passion, and a purpose, if you just go down with the blinders, you'll make it happen. And bad things are going to happen regardless. Stuff is going to happen to you. But the further you get down the hill, the more equipped you are to handle other things that are going to come your way. So yeah, I'm a big believer in that. Focus on the positives, focus on what could happen versus what could go wrong.
Right. And you know, and when you have stories like fun little like successful stories or something like that, and you tell it, people are like, "Oh my God, you're so lucky. That was so cool." It's like, yeah, it's like, I mean, part of it's luck, but I put myself in that situation for that luck to even be available for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like everyone thinks it's just luck is like, you're not going to get a random call and be like, hey, you want to go do this? And from some famous person, it's like, no, but if you go to an event where that person may be there, your paths may cross. And then guess what? Like you guys are hanging out or doing something or working on a project or something like that, where it's like, but you had to put yourself there. You know what I mean?
You have to put yourself there, and you have to have the preparation to be a person of value, to have the conversation and have stuff going on that people are going to want to be a part of that thing too.
Right.
You know, because like even like I know how we moved. One of my favorite Eddie stories ever was when he first moved in. So Eddie moves in
here to
this place. Yeah, he moves in. You know, I'd lived here maybe for like 7 months or something like that, and Eddie hit me up one day. He's like, "Hey, do you have a foam roller?" And I'm like, "Foam roller? Like, yeah, I have a foam roller." Like, yeah, can I use it? I'm like, "Yeah, come on down." Eddie walks
I injured
in.
myself. I had like a back injury or something like that from boxing.
Really?
I don't even box.
Yeah,
but it was a bit.
I'm glad you did. I always tell the story because of the ending. But Eddie comes over and he starts like, he uses the foam roller. He's like, he's on the ground, is rolling. He's like, hey,
you were just doing emails too.
Yeah, I was doing emails, just working. Like, okay. He's like, hey. I'm like, what's up? He's like, do you want to go to Lollapalooza? I was like, yeah, sure. He's like, all right, hold on a second. I'm like, what? He's like rolling. He's on the phone. He's like, hey, Mark's gonna go too. Yeah, no, he's gonna stay with us. All right, cool. Yeah, just like another VIP. Yeah. Okay. All right, bye. He's like, all right, yeah, just get your flight. And I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, it's all taken care of. Like, wait, we're going to Lollapalooza. Everything's taken care of. We have a place to stay, drinks, all the VIP, whatever we need. And all I got to do is get a flight. You're like, yeah. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
See, but this is the thing. Maybe about, if let's say I asked, 10 of my friends, maybe aside from you, maybe one other person would have said yes and done it. Everyone else would have, like, if you on paper it sounds good, right? Like if you have all this preparation, like, hey, in June, today's January now, in June we're doing this, are you down? A lot of people need all this prep time for whatever reason. And so I was actually, impressed and leave it up to you to be like, yeah, I'm down, and to just do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't. A lot of people wouldn't with that. I mean, some of my own family members, like afterwards, they see pictures, or I tell them, or especially with our experiences that we have there, they'll be like, oh my God, that's so cool. It's like, dude, you were invited. And it's like, and what happened? It was like, oh, I can't because of this or that. And it wasn't anything real, no real issues or nothing that was actually holding you back. It's like a lot of times, people's job, like their 9 to 5 or their day job, will be the ones that hold them back. And it's like a lot of times it's like, oh, I can't get the time off. It's like, you didn't even ask.
Yeah, and that's
like
why
you didn't even ask.
I think a lot of people
you just
don't want
thought that you couldn't. It's like unless it's your career where you're gonna stay. But if it's a job, first of all, you don't even like, you don't see yourself doing in the next 6 months. You're scared. You don't want to get in trouble or be on the bad side with the manager or whatever. A million reasons. Or I can't take the day off. I took last weekend. I went to the dentist. I don't want
to be an inconvenience.
Yeah, I don't want to be an inconvenience.
That was me before.
And at the end of the day, they don't even ask.
Yeah, and it literally, and that's the thing.
They don't even ask.
As long as you ask. That's why that was the biggest thing that I've been so detached from now, not having a typical 9 to 5. Now I just have a 24-hour job. But being able to go wherever you need to go. And that's what one of the big things about, people coming on board to our team at Mastermynd. It's like, yeah, as long as you're doing your job, you can have whatever days off you need. You can work as many days. You can be anywhere in the world, unless it's like physical production that we have to be somewhere for. But that's the new age. That's the new world to be able to do that. So that was one thing that I unknowingly did when I first started doing social media for people. I remember having this realization. I was like, okay, my first client was $200 a week doing their social media, Instagram or whatever. So I'm shooting with my phone. I'm posting with my phone. I'm editing with my phone. I'm like engaging with their target demographic on my phone. I'm like, I could be anywhere. Once I take all these photos, what if I just did all of the photos in 1 month? And then I did. Then I was like literally everywhere. And I'm like, holy shit, that was the switch. Otherwise, I remember when I got this like first modeling job in Santa Barbara, I had to leave. I had just started working at the Griddle. And when you start working at the Griddle, you didn't have to because you came in a slightly different way. But we had to be on call. Did you ever have to be on call? Mm-mm. When you started the Griddle, you have to be on call like 3 days a week. So you only have like 2 or 3 days, and then you have days that you're on call. And if by 8 a.m. if you get a call, you might have to go in that day.
You would get a call the day of?
The day of, because it's like seniority over there, right? And at least that's how it was back then. And so I would get like this job. I had to go to Santa Barbara. I'm like, fuck, I hope they don't call me and tell me that but I had all this weight of thinking that what if based on the job that I had, like I'm gonna let somebody down, and I would just be full of stress all day, and then they wouldn't call me. And I'd be like, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But even if they did, I could have said, oh, hey man, I had this thing, I had to take it. They'll always figure it out.
Yeah.
No matter where you're at, they'll figure it out. So just ask.
Yeah.
You're not inconveniencing anybody. Even if you are, when was the last time you inconvenienced somebody?
Yeah.
And how big of an inconvenience is it really?
Yeah. And then thinking back to jobs, I remember like my first job was at a grocery store, like being like a bag boy. Mm-hmm. And then I got promoted to like stocking the shelves and shit like that. And I just remember I was so scared to ask for like a day off, or even because that was just like this culture that's been built around 9 to 5s. It's like, don't be late, this punctuality, which don't get me wrong, punctuality is a good thing, but
yeah,
there's these things that get taken so serious that at the end of the day, like all these jobs that I remember, like they made it seem like there was so much responsibility on my shoulders. And I'm not at those jobs anymore, and they're still going. So it's like, you know what I mean? That's one thing I always tell myself. And like I saw some dumb show last night, and they were like they were competing on drinking a slushie. Like it was like a 50-ounce slushie, and whoever gets down the most wins or whatever. That was one of the many challenges. And this guy is like talking, and during the little confessional, he's like, I just heard some girl say, just keep going. It physically cannot kill you. He's like, and he's like thinking about it. He's like, that was all that is in my head. It's like, this cannot kill you. Whether something sucks or something like is unfortunate or something's difficult, unless you're in actual physical danger, like if it can't kill you, like just always push yourself to, and no matter what.
Yeah,
like it's because it literally cannot kill you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even if you like if you want to go have a conversation with this person, you want to go ask this girl out, you want to, talk to this person about being a part of your movie. Are they going to kill you?
Yeah, are they going to kill you? Even if they say no, it's like they say no. It's like, oh, that sucks. But guess what? You still have your movie idea. You could pitch it to somebody else at the end, and it's their loss.
And there's so many times where you do ask somebody to do something, and then a whole world of opportunities, like little things. So if you wouldn't have taken the job to move here to do that, or even the job in Vegas, like little things that if you wouldn't have taken that risk or taken that chance, that world of opportunities may not have opened up.
Yeah, big time. I remember when I first moved here, I was living with my brother. He moved here with me, and he was technically my first roommate here, right? Wilcox, yeah. And then my second roommate, I remember our first year living together, we were very into going to like tapings. So we were like on One Iota, like
Oh, yeah.
signing up for
Jimmy
everything.
Kimmel and shit.
Jimmy Kimmel, the One Iota, like any kind of The Voice, movie premieres, anything we could do, we signed up for. And anything we got, we would go. And then we would do those 4 hour in line, like all that shit, right? But I remember one year we went to the Emmys, and that was really cool because we ended up, we were like third row, and we didn't get moved the whole time, the whole show. So it was like we sat next to, like, I think it was like Gabrielle Union and the cast of like This Is Us and House of Cards, and it was just like, holy shit, like it was like such a pinch me moment, you know. And then I remember years later I met through a mutual friend. It was he's one of the producers of the Grammys, and they were doing a Prince tribute show. It was, I think, 2 years ago or something like that. And we got invited, like actual tickets. And I remember, so I wasn't living with my roommate anymore at this point, but something special like that, I called him up. I was like, hey, let's go to this event. He's like, the first question he asked me, he's like, are we going to have seat fillers? Like, are there going to be seat fillers for us? I said, I don't know. Maybe. We're pretty close up. And so we go, and he's like, all right, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Let me know if someone sits in my seat. So he goes up to get in the bathroom. He didn't even need to use the restroom. He just did it to see if he had a seat filler. Gets up, like within like 2 minutes, this lady comes over and brings this like young guy to sit down, and he had like his little like pin to differentiate himself that he's a seat filler, you know. And yeah, so my roommate comes back, has to get this kid up because that's the way it works, you know. And like he's like, oh, this is my seat, you know, and like all very like super entitled, but it was like a he earned it moment. Like he's like, I've been in your shoes. And it was a cool like 360 moment to be funny. To go from like to be a seat filler, just to be there, to then be invited and have a seat filler assigned to you. So it was kind of cool. It was funny, but like I said, it was a 360 moment of
You want to get up now and see if you have a seat filler here?
Have I seen
We got you, man. We like,
where's Charles?
Literally just hat on.
Yeah, just hat
hoodie. That's so funny. Yeah, that is really. I remember I used to take everybody that would come out here. I would take them to see Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, you heard us talking about you?
My seat filler.
When I first moved out here, it was I would take everybody to Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Because have you been to Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah.
You get to see a celebrity. You get to see a Hollywood production. It's close by. It's a cool little vibe. But yeah, because when people come out here, there's like they want to experience the weather. I remember some people would come. It would be like freezing cold out. They'd be like, "Let's go to the beach." I'm like, "It's fucking cold still some days, especially near the water."
You need hot days to go to the beach for sure.
But it was a nice way to bring somebody, if somebody was coming out from Michigan or wherever they were coming out from, to have a full Hollywood experience. Take them to Jimmy Kimmel. They get to check some things off the box, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's fun. It's fun. You know, I've been to Jimmy Kimmel a couple times, and like, I mean, even when I first, like, I think my second year here, I did like extra work for Days of Our Lives. Mm-hmm. Is that the show? Is that a show?
A soap opera, yeah.
Yeah, soap opera, old school soap opera. It's still going.
Marlena. Victor just passed away.
I have no idea, but I didn't even know. I knew of the show. Never seen it.
I know everybody. I know the whole.
No, I mean, I didn't even want to be an actor. I mean, I still don't want to be an actor, but I did extra work just to see the sets and to see how it works, and to, you know, you never know, but put myself out there. And I remember I have really bad vision, right? And I remember during that time I was running late to the set. I had to be there like 7 a.m. or something like that. And I couldn't get my contacts in. Like, I just could not get my contact lenses in, but I was going to be late. And I just went without contacts. So I'm there. And then, my friend was a casting director on there, actually. So he put me with this other extra that she does a lot of work for him. And so she was kind of showing me the ropes, like, oh, we go here and we go here. And during this time, it was my first time on a set ever. And I remember she's like, oh yeah, the actors, they don't really talk to us. You know, they're rehearsing, or they're in hair and makeup or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, then they call the extras to get on set. So I'm on set and I'm with her, whatever. We're sipping coffee or whatever. And one of the actors comes up to me and he goes, "You're an actor, right?" And I wasn't, but I'm on set, so I feel like it would look stupid if I said no. So I'm like, oh yeah. Like, I'm sure it sounded fake, but I was just like, oh yeah. Like, why is he asking me that? And he was one of the main guys, and he's just like, you mind running some lines with me? I'm just like, Sure. Like, yeah.
Wait, did you have your contacts in yet?
No, I did not have context in, so I couldn't read the lines.
You start improvising?
So I couldn't read the lines, but I was so embarrassed. I was put on the spot. I wanted, and not only could I not see, but I was in my head about how I was gonna deliver the lines to sound like I was an actor. Mm-hmm. And this guy, and I remember the girl that had told me like, oh, they never talk to us. She's just like shocked because she's been an extra on that show for years, and then that's never happened to her. And of course, it happens to me my first time. I don't have my contacts in. I'm lying about being an actor. I was just there for fun. And I remember he's like, sure. He's like, okay, you're playing David or whatever the character's name was. I was like, all right.
I remember this episode.
Yeah. And I just remember holding the paper like close to my face, and I'm just squinting and just reading the lines, and he's going back and forth with me, and it was maybe 10 minutes, and I probably didn't say some stuff, but I think he was more focused on his lines, that he didn't catch my fumbles, you know. But it was, oh man, I just remember he's like, oh, thanks man, thanks, keep going. Like, he's giving me this little pep talk, like yeah, you're gonna make it. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to be an actor.
Well, that's funny that you brought up acting, because we wrote a scene for us to say today. Actually, ChatGPT did.
Charles, right now?
Yeah. Charles, can you go on? So ChatGPT is up there. Can you just do a screenshot and send it to me and Eddie in a group chat of? My phone might be dead. Fuck. What's that?
My phone's dead.
Oh shit, we have to do it together. I wish we could even bring it up on the screen. You see where ChatGPT is on there, Charles? It's already up in my Google Chrome.
Wait, so what did you wrote it like?
So
what is it?
So yeah, have you heard of this new thing called ChatGPT?
ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's AI. So one of the fun things that we've been doing is.
What do you mean it's AI?
So it's artificial intelligence.
Well, I know what AI is, but.
So basically, it's acting currently as a almost as an assistant. So it's stands for, so Chat G is for generative pre-transcribed technology, something like that. So ChatGPT is a new tool that we're using for in a number of different ways. But basically, eventually, everyone will have AI in their home. And say you want to write an email, you have to think about how to write the email, whatever, to sound like you, whatever. Or you could say, "Hey, write me an email to reach out to other music professionals about creating a community." And it will transcribe it right there for you. So this one.
But where does it get the information from?
So from the internet. And then the cool thing is, in the future, it'll eventually know you a little bit better. So it'll speak even closer. So the thing closer to how you speak. But within this, I think it takes everything from the internet and then it formulates into a way. And then, so what I did for this, I don't even know if that answered the question. So for this, what we did, we thought it'd be funny to say, write the first scene of a sequel to Good Will Hunting. And as we go through it, you'll scroll through for us. All right, so this is the first page that ChatGPT created for a scene between Will and Robin Williams. I think that's is Sean, right? Is Sean McGuire? Is that Robin Williams in the film? It is for sure. All right, so do you want to be Robin Williams? Or you want to be Will Hunting?
Let me see. Balding, kind-faced man.
So yeah,
that is staring at the computer screen. Okay, I'll be Dr. McGuire.
All right, cool. So I'll read the scene heading so people know in case they're listening here. So I
got my contacts in.
You do. So this is basically what ChatGPT created when we asked it to do the first page of the screenplay for a sequel to Good Will Hunting. Fade in, interior psychiatry office, day. Dr. Sean McGuire, 60s, a balding, kind-faced man sits at his desk, this is Eddie, staring at his computer screen. He looks up at his office door as his office door opens, and Will Hunting, 40s now, that's me, enters. Will looks tired and on edge.
Hello, Will. How are you today?
I'm okay, I guess.
What's going on? You seem upset.
It's just, I don't know. I feel like I've been stuck in this rut for years. I'm working at the same job, living in the same apartment. It's like I haven't really moved on from that day in the park.
You mean the day you met Skylar?
Yeah, I know it's been almost 20 years, but I can't shake the feeling that I messed up everything with her.
Well, you can't blame yourself for what happened. You were in a tough place back then. You made the best decisions you could at the time.
I know. It's just, I don't know. I feel like I've wasted so much time.
Well, it's never too late to make changes and move forward. Have you thought about going back to school or exploring a new career opportunities?
Yeah, I've thought about it. I don't know if I'm ready for a big change like that.
Well, that's why we're here, to help you figure out what you want and how to get there.
Thanks, Sean. I really appreciate it.
Of course, Will. Now, let's get to work.
Will nods and the two men begin their session. Fade to black. Are we happy with the sequel?
Wait.
All right, so
who actually wrote this? The actual
the
thing?
AI, yeah.
But where is this AI? You go online?
Yeah, Yuli, go up to top left, go to new chat. And want to do one more movie or have a different idea you would like it to do?
Let's do a movie.
All right, so write the first page of the screenplay to the sequel for E.T.
You're going to be E.T. Wait, what happens at the end of that movie? Does he die? I don't remember. He goes home? I haven't seen it.
All right, here we go.
Henry's bedroom, night. Henry, a teenage boy, sits at his desk, staring at his computer screen with a look of determination. On the screen is a video chat with his friend.
Oh, he's video chatting? Oh, my God. All right, so, and this is where we're thinking about doing a whole Instagram based on the first page to sequels. So so we got two people, Henry and Cole. Which one is Henry? Is that
the main boy?
Is that
That's
the main boy?
The main guy, no?
Yeah, okay.
I would think.
You want to play Henry?
Sure.
Cole might be his brother.
So we're on a webcam.
All right, so let's go to the top. We'll read it one more time and then we'll go into it.
That's pretty funny. Did you read the first line?
No. Yuli, let's scroll to the top. And this, I can I'll read the thing and we'll go in. So fade in. So you're Henry. Okay. So fade in. Interior, Henry's bedroom night. Henry, a teenage boy now, sits at his desk staring at his computer screen with a look of determination. On the screen is a video chat with his friend Cole.
Wait, and side note, this movie's called Finding E.T. again? Or is that Finding? Let's just call it Finding E.T.
Finding E.T.
Finding E.T.
The sequel to
The sequel, yeah. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I really think we should try to find E.T.
Are you kidding me? That was like 10 years ago. E.T. is probably long gone by now.
No way. I just have a feeling he's out there somewhere, and I think we owe it to him to try and find him.
I don't know, man. That was a pretty crazy adventure we went on last time. Do you really want to go through it all again?
Yes, I do. And I know you do too. We can't just leave E.T. out there.
We can't. Fine, I'm in. But we have to be careful. If anyone finds out what we're doing, we could get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, but think about the reward if we succeed. We could be heroes.
Right, heroes. Let's do this. Henry and Cole high five through the screen.
Shit.
And the camera pulls back to reveal a map of the United States tacked to the wall behind Henry. The camera zooms in on the map, focusing on a spot in the desert marked with an X. Fade to black. End of
red
Act
X.
1.
Damn.
So that's the sequel. Wow. I can't wait to see what happens. But yeah, so this is ChatGPT. You write newsletters for you, can write emails for you, and just really do a lot of the grunt work that maybe would take most of the time. I'm not saying write a screenplay and publish it, but right now it's the wild, wild west of AI. And this is going to be something that based on what I'm reading is going to be like your electric bill. You'll have your AI bill of the month, and you could even potentially have a robot with you in your home that it would learn how to speak like you. Like, hey, send an email to Charles, tell him not to come into work tomorrow and to instead go to the beach. And then it would write it all up, and I would look at it and be like, okay, tweak, send. And then Charles will go to the beach next week.
What if someone goes, write me a sad love song about, I don't know, a love triangle.
Yeah,
and then
and publishes.
Can you publish that?
Yeah, I would say at this point don't publish anything, but I'm not sure.
Or do it now before
because Charles had mentioned yesterday that, because we've been talking about this a lot, that like those AI generated not the avatars that everybody just did, but the ones where you just put like 3 things in and it creates art. Like if you said the sky and an alien and a fishing boat and it would create something, you have the rights to that if you pay for it, I guess, or whatever.
If you pay for it.
Yeah. So I don't know. We're really excited about the ChatGPT, what the possibilities are, but and we're trying to bring that into our system in some way, shape, or form. But this is one of the cool ways, especially seeing it written out. It's like, holy shit.
Damn.
I had to write wedding vows the other day.
You used that?
I didn't get married, but
but you used
the just to see what it would say.
Yeah. Did it work?
Yes, it was great.
Did you cry?
A little bit.
Then it worked.
Yeah.
Did you? And that's the thing, right? Did it bring out emotion? Did it make somebody feel something?
Yeah, I felt
that's a little scary though, because what if, like, let's say you have a family member, right, that calls you maybe like once a week or once a month, or emails you. You could just set AI to just be like, hey, chat with, my grandma.
Yeah, that feels like the sequel to Click.
Yeah, to chat with my grandma once in a while. And it's like, then you kind of go back and read it like, oh, she's doing well. You read it almost as a transcript of what happened between your AI and you, even though
Just goes off the deep end.
It's
been lying to my grandma. It's been sending her money. But yeah, we're always trying to stay at the forefront of attention and technology and stuff, and like how people are using different things, and it's been really, really interesting. But
I just watched Megan the other day. That Chucky movie. Well, not Chucky, but you know what I mean, the killer doll or whatever. It was actually, for what it is, it was great. I like highly recommend it. It was dark humor. It was hilarious. Like everybody in the theaters was actually cracking up at some of the parts, and then because it's a little absurd, but it was a good film, but it's a little scary because computers are always listening, and that's kind of
we've been like, people are making films like this for a long time, or when the world ends and all these things, what happens when the robots come after us, and now it's like, now it's possible. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how they, the restrictions that they put on AI and that kind of stuff. Because right now, like we said, it's like the wild, wild west. But eventually,
I know it is. It's interesting because it's the way it's going.
Yeah.
To some degree, it's taking over. I read an article about I forgot where, it's in the United States, but there's some city where they have a McDonald's, the first McDonald's that's fully machine operated. So there's not a single person working on site. So you could do a drive through, or you could go into the actual McDonald's, but you order through a kiosk. And then
are the customers robots too, or are those real people?
No, those are real people. Well, who knows? We're all kind of robots, right? No, but it was crazy. I was just like, damn, like not only are they going to be replacing jobs, but obviously they're going to be able to be more consistent, but it's kind of scary. Like, what if, you order a cheeseburger with no pickles and it comes with pickles? Like, who do you talk to? Do you just get it for free, or do you know what I mean? Like,
can I speak to the robot manager?
Can I speak to the robot manager?
Like, no, robot Karen can't. No human Karen.
You should actually make a character, Robot Karen, before it's done. It's like an AI that's a Karen.
There was already a movie of Karen that came out last year.
I didn't see it, but
yeah,
Karen the movie.
Well, I guess that's our time for today. Thanks for doing this so last minute. Hey, do you want to do a podcast? Yeah, let's do it. Or first it was like, hey, you want to have a conversation? Actually, you just want to talk for an hour? For an hour. But definitely trying to do more and more of these. But yeah, man, tell everybody where they can find you on the interwebs.
Right now I'm just on Instagram, I guess. My first and last name, Eddie Lizarde, at Eddie Lizarde.
Done.
From there, my links are there.
Cool. And this is the Rodriguez Project. You can find me at Mark Rodriguez TV everywhere, or at Mastermynd Media. Thanks so much for being on. And looking forward to our trip here in a couple weeks, man.
Cool. 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Sundance. Here we come.
Let's go. All right, y'all. Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Peace.